You showed up with respect, with patience, with quiet goodwill. They came back with sarcasm, dismissiveness, a look, a tone, a silence that said, "You don't matter." You felt it, that sharp sting, not from what they said, but from what they didn't. You ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Should I speak up? Should I walk away? But here's the truth. You're not being tested on your worth. You're being tested on your poise. Their behavior is not about you. It's a mirror of their own unrest, their noise, their need. The Stoics taught this clearly. We are not disturbed by what others do, only by how we choose to see it. Respect is not something you beg for. It's something you carry, even in silence, even when no one returns it. You don't win dignity by demanding it. You hold it by refusing to lose yourself. So the real question isn't, how do I make them treat me better? The question is, how do I hold my center when they don't? This isn't about pride. It's about principle, about staying rooted when the ground around you shakes. In this video, we'll explore how to handle disrespect without losing grace, without shrinking, and without becoming what you're not. Let's begin. The Stoic view on respect and ego. Respect feels personal. When someone dismisses you, interrupts you, talks down to you, it strikes the ego. But the Stoics taught, it's not the insult that hurts. It's our need to be validated. They knew this truth. If you depend on someone else's respect to feel whole, you've already given them too much. Epictetus said, if someone treats you with disrespect, ask, did I lose anything? If not, let it go. That's not apathy. That's sovereignty. Because what you lose, when you chase external validation, is yourself. You bend. You perform. You react to every look, every tone, every slight. That's not self-respect. That's dependence dressed as pride. True dignity isn't loud. It doesn't plead. It doesn't announce itself. It simply stands, rooted, not in ego, but in principle. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he wrote, "Don't waste time thinking about what others think of you. Just be honest, just be good." He didn't need approval, because he had alignment between who he was and how he lived. And that's the Stoic way, not to seek admiration, but to live with integrity, to act from values, not from image, to let others keep their opinions while you keep your peace. So when someone disrespects you, pause. Don't rush to defend your ego. Ask instead, did I act with clarity? Did I stay true to myself? If yes, you've lost nothing, not your worth, not your center, not your freedom, because respect, in the Stoic sense, is not what you get. It's what you guard. It's not something others owe you. It's something you never surrender. 6. Stoic way, S. To handle disrespect. They spoke down to you. They rolled their eyes. They cut you off. Not once, but often. Everything in you wants to react, to push back, to prove something. But not everything that provokes you is worth your energy. Hold your line. Don't mirror theirs. When someone treats you with disrespect, your first impulse is to match their tone, to throw back what they threw first. But the moment you reflect them, you become them. And that's the trap. The Stoic holds their form, not out of pride, out of principle. Your character is not a reaction. It's a decision. So let theirs be loud. Let yours stay clear. You don't need to win. You just need to stay rooted. Disrespect baits the ego. It whispers, defend yourself, show them. but showing them what? That you can shout louder, interrupt faster, fall just as low? Winning doesn't always look like victory. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it's walking away, with your center intact. You don't need the last word. You need the last stillness. Not everyone deserves your response. Energy is finite. So is attention. Who you give it to reveals what you value. When someone crosses the line, you can draw another. You can say nothing, not to be weak, but to preserve strength. Responding to every disrespect makes you reactive. Choosing not to makes you disciplined. Let some things pass. You're not required to attend every argument. You're invited to see beyond their behavior. Not every insult is personal. Sometimes it's projection. Sometimes it's pain wearing a mask. Sometimes it's them trying not to drown, so they splash whatever's near. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to make it yours. The Stoic sees clearly. This person may be lashing out, not at me, but from themselves. Understanding doesn't excuse them. It just frees you. Stand firm without explaining yourself. You don't need to justify your standards. You don't need to lower them either. Let your presence speak. Let your restraint speak louder. There's power in stillness, in knowing who you are so deeply that you don't rush to defend it. The person who keeps their posture shakes more people than the one who yells. Be that person. Leave if you must, but leave without poison. Walking away is not always weakness. Sometimes it's wisdom. You don't have to stay in places that chip away at your peace. You don't have to remain where respect is constantly negotiated. But when you leave, leave clean. No bitterness, no curses under your breath, just a quiet closing of the door and the dignity to not look back. That's not escape. That's leadership over yourself. Disrespect is not always avoidable, but you're not here to control others. You're here to master yourself. And every time you choose not to mirror, not to collapse, not to fire back, you sharpen that mastery. Let them see what grace under pressure looks like. Not for applause, not for revenge, just for yourself. Because in the Stoic life, how you respond is who you become. The quiet power of not needing validation. They didn't say thank you. They didn't acknowledge your effort. They dismissed your ideas. They didn't see you. And yet, you kept your posture. That is power. Not the power to control others. The power to remain whole when others forget to see your worth. Because the need to be validated is the fastest way to be manipulated. Once you depend on their approval, you move like they want. You speak like they expect. You become someone you don't even recognize. The Stoics taught freedom, not freedom from the world, but from the need to be liked by it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Ambition means tying your well-being to what others say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to what you feel, but sanity means tying it to your own actions." In that equation, validation is noise. It fluctuates. It flatters, then disappears. It lifts, then drops. Why chase what you cannot hold? Instead, anchor yourself to what you can, your values, your effort, your quiet honesty. Do your work. Say what matters. Leave it there. You don't need their reaction to make it real. When you stop needing to be seen, you start to see yourself clearly, calmly, without filters. You begin to notice how little of life depends on others clapping for it. That's freedom. Not loud, not glamorous, but unshakable. Because when you no longer crave validation, you move different. You speak different. You become the kind of person others respect, without you ever asking for it. Dignity is a silent force. You don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to fight to be right. You don't need to be seen to know who you are. Dignity is not something you display. It's something you hold, not in your hands, in your stance, in your silences, in your restraint when every nerve wants to react. The world will test that. People will forget your kindness, disregard your boundaries, mock your calm, and you will be tempted to abandon yourself, to prove yourself. Don't. Stay rooted. Stay upright. Let others swing. You hold still. Because true strength is not in domination, it's in self-command. The Stoics taught, you can't control how others act, only how you respond. And in that response, you reveal your philosophy. So when respect isn't given, give none to your ego either. Let it go. Let them speak. Let the storm pass. Then walk forward, without bitterness, without collapse. You are not here to earn your worth. You already carry it. Dignity is quiet, but unmovable, invisible, but undeniable. The more still you are, the more clearly others see it. And in the end, you don't need them to understand. You just need to live in a way that leaves nothing to explain.